everybody, I'm Lisa, and I'm going to go through just some basic yoga poses. We're going to do a little bit of sun salutations, maybe a couple of warrior poses, maybe a little bit of core. This is not the first YouTube video that I have tried. I have tried several in the past week, and I quickly deleted because no one needs to see what I have tried before. So I'm going to try it again and see how far it goes before I get hysterically and I start laughing, and so we'll see how it goes. First of all, no judgment, so don't judge me. No comparison, no competition. We're just going to have fun just to get you moving in your home. Grab your family, grab your kids, something we're all going to be able to do together, and hope it works out. So we'll get started. We're going to actually start out on our feet. So go ahead and walk toward the front of your mat. In a position called Tadasana. So with Tadasana, your feet are going to be right up underneath your hips. So if you think about where your hip bones are, straight line down to your feet. And then your shoulders are lifted up and relaxed down. Your breastbone lifts up. The crown of your head lifts up toward the sky. And we'll go ahead and start. Bring your hands together right in front of your heart. Let's do a couple of half sun salutations just to get the blood going. On the inhale, reach your arms up toward the sky. Look up, maybe if you want to. Now bend your knees and forward fold. Oh, keep the knees bent, especially if you start to feel a lot of this in the hamstrings. Halfway lift, look toward the front of your space with a little bit of a flat back. And then fold again, bringing your nose a little closer to your knees or your shins. And then come all the way back up. And then bring your hands back together right in front of your heart. That's one. We're going to actually do that a couple of more times. So in your next inhale, through your nose, reach your arms back above your head. Bend your knees, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, look toward the front of your space. And then fold again. Big breath, inhale, reach the arms back above your head. Reach up and touch the sky. And then bring the hands back together right in front of the heart. One more time. Inhale, back up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. And then bring the hands back together into your heart. Right in front of your heart center, right in front of your breastbone. So that was sun salutation. Well, I have sun salutation. It's just to kind of get the breath moving and get the body moving. So now we're going to go into sun A. So it begins the same way that we just did, and it adds on a couple of more things. So we'll go ahead and start. So back toward the front of the mat. Your feet are still going to be hip distance apart, hands together right in front of your heart. And then inhale up. Bend your knees again, exhale, forward bend. Let's stay here for a second. Now, no prizes have ever been awarded for people who can touch the floor that I know of. I know I've never given out any. If you can touch the floor, that's great. If you can't, that's fine too. You can just take your hands to your shin bones. Then look toward the front of your space. This is halfway lift with somewhat of a flat back. Just prepares your body to be able to step back into plank. So bring the hands back to the floor, bend your knees as much as you need to, and then step back to your plank. Plank is the top part of a push-up. But my push-up is going to be on my knees. So if you want to, go ahead and drop the knees down to the floor, the shoelace part of your feet onto the mat. Slowly bend the elbows about halfway. And then arch the spine up into a pose called Cobra. Just a nice little back bend. Lifting your sternum up toward the sky. And then take this back to a pose called Downward Dog. So flex your feet, lift your hips up toward the sky, and then pause here. So from your Downward Dog, your hands are still going to be about shoulder width apart, your feet are about hip distance apart, your hips up toward the sky. And then look to your hands. Step your feet forward, even if it takes you several steps to get toward the hands. Halfway lift, look forward toward the front of the room, and then fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to, and then inhale, come all the way back up. and lower the hands back in front of the heart. So that's one sun salutation A. We're going to link this with breath. So we inhale and we exhale through the nose, primarily, for the most part. For just this video, inhale and exhale through the nose. Now try to remember to cue that each time I go into a different position. So hands together in front of the heart. Big breath in through the nose, reach the arms above your head. Bend your knees, exhale, forward bend. Inhale through your nose, halfway lift, look toward the front. I'm looking at this daisy. And then step back to your plank as you exhale. So now we're back in that top part of a push-up. I'm still gonna modify on my knees. So bend your elbows down about halfway. This is be our chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra with your knees on the mat. Lift your heart up toward the sky. And then take this back into your downward dog. So pause in your downward dog. Downward dog takes the shape of an inverted V. So your hands are on the floor, shoulder width apart, and your feet are on the floor about hip distance apart for now. It may change depending on what instructor you have or teacher that you have or style of yoga, but for today, hands shoulder width apart and feet are hip distance apart. Your bottom is up, making that nice little V shape. Your navel is pulled in, so pull in through your core. From downward dog, look back to your hands and start to walk your feet to your hands to your back to your forward bend. Halfway lift, look toward the front of your mat, like I'm gonna look at my daisy, and then fold again. On the next inhale, reach the arms back above your head, lower the hands back in front of the heart. So pretty simple, huh? Let's do it one more time. Inhale, reach the arms up, touch the sky. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step it back to your plank. Modify on the knees if you want to. Otherwise, keep your knees up off the mat. Bend your elbows down about halfway. And then arch it up to upward dog. Remember, cobra is on the knees. And then back to your downward dog. Shake the head out. Did he nod the head? Yes. Shake it out. No. End on a positive, and then nod the head yes one more time. Looking to your hands, step your feet forward, take baby steps or big steps, it's up to you. Halfway lift, look toward the front of your space, fold, and then rise up. Bringing your hands together right in front of your heart. That's a sun salutation A. Let's move on to sun B. It begins the same way. We're taking a deep breath, inhale, reach the arms above your head. This time, you're gonna exhale into your chair pose. So your chair pose is just like a tiny squat. Your knees are bent, you're flexing from your hips. You can sit in a bar stool chair pose. You can sit a little bit deeper into maybe a kindergarten chair. You'll find the perfect way to be able to squat down into chair pose. Keeping the navel pulled in. Your sternum is still lifted. Your arms are still reaching up. So from your chair pose, go ahead and go back to your forward bend. This feels familiar. Inhale, halfway lift, look to that daisy. Step back to your plank. Bend your elbows, chaturanga. Upward dog. Back to your downward dog. We're going to raise the right leg straight up toward the sky. So downward dog split, three-legged dog. We'll look to your hands. Your right foot is going to step in between your hands. So take your time, even if you have to go halfway, grab your ankle and place it forward. Take a look at your left foot. Spin the left heel to the mat. Reach the arms above your head. Warrior one. Virabhadrasana one. So your shoulders are facing the front. Your hips are facing the front. Mine will eventually, but not yet. For warrior one, we're going to bring the hands back to the mat. Step it back to your plank. Take your vinyasa. So chaturanga, Up dog. Downward dog. Raise your left leg back up. Because remember, what we do on the right side, we'll always do on the left. Step the left foot forward. Take the right heel to the floor. Warrior one, lift your arms above your head. And bring the hands back down to the mat. Step it back to your plank. Take your vinyasa. Bend your elbows, lower down about halfway. Arch it up into upward dog. Back to your downward dog. Now bring the knees to the floor real quick. So let's talk about that. So we've gone through a half sun salutation. We've done sun A, and now we're on sun B. Now you may notice that your heart rate's gone up a little bit. You're using some of your larger muscle groups. That makes the heart beat a little bit faster. Gets that blood pumping. We're actually going to do 2 more sun Bs. The one that has chair pose in it, and the 2 warrior poses. Warrior one on right and warrior one on the left. And it is to warm the body up. So if you only have a few minutes a day to do a little bit of yoga, this is a perfect way to do some yoga. Just do a couple of sun salutations, just to get ready and get the body and the blood flowing. So we'll start back in Tadasana, and we'll do 2 more rounds of sun salutation B. So join me on your feet. Remember, the feet are going to be about hip distance apart, hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, deep breath, in through your nose, reach the arms above your head. Exhale into your chair pose. Remember that squat. Big breath in. Exhale, forward fold. So if your hamstrings are still tight, just bend your knees. Halfway lift, look toward the front. Stepping back to your plank. Take your vinyasa. If you want to drop to your knees, go all the way to your belly. That is your choice, whatever feels nice for you. Coming up to cobra if that's your choice. Back to your downward dog. Looking to your hands. Step your feet. Wait a minute, I left out warrior poses. So go ahead and reach the right leg up to the ceiling, downward dog split. Look to your hands. Step your right foot in between your hands. Left heel to the mat. Warrior one, lift your arms above your head. Bend your right knee a little bit more so it's on top of the ankle. And then take your vinyasa, hands to the floor. Step it back to your plank. Chaturanga, that half push up. Upward dog. Back to your downward dog. So remember, what we do on the right side, we'll do on the left side. So go ahead and reach your left leg up toward the sky. Downward dog split. Step it forward. That right heel down toward the mat. Warrior one, lift your arms above your head. Take your vinyasa, hands to the floor. Step it back to your plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Back to your downward dog. Can you breathe in and out about 4 more times in your downward dog? Your sitting bones, their hips up to the ceiling. Thighs are back. Heels pressing down toward the floor. And then look to your hands. Step your feet to your hands. Halfway lift, look toward the front. And then fold. Inhale, reach the arms way above your head. Lower the hands down in front of the heart. And that is sun B. Okay, so now let's move on, and we'll add a few things to our sun B. So we'll start back into Tadasana, toward the front of your mat. Your feet are still going to be about hip distance apart. Inhale, reach the arms up, touch the sky, and then sink back into your chair pose. forward bend. Halfway lift, look forward, and then step it back to your plank. Now take the right knee to the right elbow, and then take it back. Take the left knee to the left elbow, and then take it back. And continue, right knee, left knee, right knee, left knee. Now keep going, bringing your knee to your elbow or your tricep on right and your left, maybe for a few more seconds. Great job. Now pause in your plank. Chaturanga, that half push-up. Up dog. Downward dog. Lift your hips back up to the sky. Raise your right leg straight back up to the ceiling. Downward dog split. Step your right foot in between your hands. Take as long as you need to get there. Spin the left heel to the mat. Warrior two. So now you're going to face the left side of your mat, reaching your arms out to the side, and you're still going to bend your right knee up about 90 degrees. But I want you to look past your right fingertips. So I'm going to look at my dog Lola. So this is warrior one. So what we do on one side, we'll do on the other. So bring your hands back down to the mat. Step it back to your plank. Take vinyasa. Your chaturanga. Your upward dog. Back to your downward dog. Breathe. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Raise your left leg straight up to the sky. Looking to your hands, step your left foot to your hands. Right heel to the floor. So you've lined your left heel up with your right heel, or maybe your arch. Rise up to warrior two, looking past your left hand. Big breath in through the nose, and then take the hands down to the floor. Step it back to your plank. Take vinyasa. Looking to your hands. Step your feet forward. Halfway lift, look toward the front. And then fold. On your inhale, rise up. And then bring your hands back together right in front of your heart. Nicely done. We'll do a couple of more things, and then we'll finish up. So on your next breath in, reach your arms above your head. Let's go into tree pose. Bring your hands together in front of the heart. You're going to stay on your left foot, bringing your right heel to your ankle. This could be your tree pose. Or you can bring your foot to your calf muscle, or maybe your foot to your inner thigh. Hold your tree pose while I fix my phone because it's on low battery. So we're holding our tree pose. Whether you have your foot on the floor, your calf muscle, or your inner thigh, it is up to you. It's really up to your balance for today. And then you can release your right foot back down. And we'll do the other side. So look out beyond your space. Find a place to stare at, to focus on. And then take the left foot to your inner ankle, using your left toes as a kickstand, or maybe your calf muscle, or your inner thigh, bringing your foot all the way up. Hands together in front of the heart, holding your tree pose. Can you take one more deep breath in? And as you exhale, place the left foot back down, reach the arms back above your head. Lower the hands down in front of the heart. And then release the hands down by your side. Okay, so this is my first video that I might put up. We'll see. And it is just a very basic learning sun A, sun B, and just tree pose. So I'll try to do more and post those on YouTube, and then maybe get into some more poses that build from what we just did. So we'll try it out, and hopefully you'll like it. Remember, no judgment, no competition, and no comparison. Okay, this is my first time, and just a crazy thing that we're having to deal with social distancing, and we're going to make this where we can have fun with it and have a good time with it. So namaste, and namaste means my heart bows to your heart. So namaste.